Hello, welcome to episode 137 of the Datapack and Resource Pack tutorials for version 1.21.4. We are going to be adding a custom trim pattern. You can see my netherite chestplate has ID on the front for Infernal device. I've made my own pattern. We're doing this separate from our own trim materials, just to keep it easy. If anyone has any problems combining the two sort of tutorials together, you can always send me a question. So if I take off my armour piece, ignore all the rubbish in there. We won't be using most of that. So let's take that off. You can see I've got my normal little skin on there with the normal ID on. And then if I put my trimmed with infernal armour trim, I've got a big fat, kind of ugly ID on the front. Anyway, well, that's what we're going to be doing. Well, let's get on and build it now. Okay, here we are in VS Code. Now I've added some folders and files already. Let's have a look at what I've added. So inside data, I've added my namespace, and we've added a recipe folder, infernal.png. We've added a trim pattern, infernal.json, and inside the Minecraft namespace, we've added tags, item, trim, templates. Okay, so those are our folders and files. Let's have a look at the tutorial. Now the tutorial is out of date, as we've discovered anyway, but we're still going to be using it as a bit of a reference. So what have we got? We need data example trim pattern stripes. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got data example, extra trim pattern, mine's called infernal, okay. We need the tags, trim templates. We've got that one, trim templates in Minecraft. And we need a recipe, okay, recipe stripes. Armour trim, and mine is called infernal armour trim. Okay, so that all seems good. But I think what we're going to do is we're also going to reference the 1.21.4 jar file. So let's shrink you down and shrink you down, and let's shrink you down. Now, if we open up the resource pack folder, so options, resource packs, open resource pack folder, that's going to open up my resource pack, which has a few folders in it at the moment, but we'll come back to the resource pack later. I'm going to drop down to Minecraft, go to versions, find the version I'm in, which is 1.21.4. I'm going to open that, and I'm going to open the jar file with some archive program. Okay, here we go. Now, if we want to do anything Datapack related, we look in data, and if it's resource pack, we look in assets. Now, we are going to be doing data. So, what are we doing first? Let's have a look at our tutorial, and we'll start at the top. Trim, data, example, trim pattern, stripes. Okay, can we find that? Let's have a look. So, data, example, in this case, it would be Minecraft, because the example is just the namespace. So, Minecraft, trim pattern, and well, we don't have ours made yet because these are the vanilla ones. So let's copy one. Let's copy Bolt. And let's have a look inside there. Okay. Well, in fact, we can see a bit of a difference already. We've got asset ID. That's the same. But we've got a description and a template. But this has a decal false. Okay. So we should probably put that in anyway, just in case. So let's copy that. Copy. And we'll take that over. And we'll put that into our... It wasn't our recipe, it was our trim pattern. There we go. Now let's make some changes. Okay, asset ID. Well, I'm going to call mine infernal. And my resource pack. This is going to be my resource pack namespace, not the namespace of the data pack. So let's have a look at what we called the resource pack. Let's go to Minecraft, resource packs. There's my resource pack. Inside there we have assets. We'll come back to these later. And I've called mine extra trim pattern resource. Okay, so it's probably easier just to copy that. Let's go back. So this is where it's going to be looking. It's going to be looking in a resource pack. It's going to be looking in the namespace extra trim pattern resource. And it's going to be looking for infernal. Okay. Description. I'm not going to use translate. We're not using translations yet. We're just going to use text. And this would be I think it's bolt armour trim, wild armour trim, coast armour trim. So I'll call mine, so it fits in infernal armour trim. And I'll use the American spelling since they probably all are. So ours matches. Template item. What item do you want to be able to use? Now, normally when you're playing the game, you use, for instance, this item here. So you'd be using bolt armour trim smithing template. Bolt armour trim smithing template. Okay. Well, we also want to use something different. So I'm going to use some blaze powder. Blaze powder. There we go. And we'll call that done. Let's close that one down. And we're now going to have to say, well, blaze powder is allowed to be used as a trim. So we're going to add it to the list of trim templates. Now, something odd I did find here is if I look in the vanilla one, because we want to add to it. But if I look in the vanilla and we go to, we want to be in, make sure we're in data, Minecraft, tags, item, I can see trim materials and trimmable armour, but I can't actually see trim templates. Just in case you happen to go in there and look and don't find it. I didn't find it either. But we do need to do this bit, so let's add blaze powder to the trim templates. Open it up. We will have some values. And the value we're going to have is basically what item are we adding? Well, I'm adding Minecraft blaze powder. Okay, let's save that. That one's done. Now we need a recipe. So let's go and have a look at the tutorial. And we can see this is the recipe here. Okay. Instead of let's copy it, let's go and have a look at Misode as well. So we can look at what we've got. We've got a type edition base template. Okay. Minecraft smithing trim. That's the type. That means we can use it to trim in the smithing table. Edition trim materials. So it needs a material, I suppose. What can you use it on? Trimmable armour. And the template is a stick. So we can probably already guess that we're going to change stick, because they've got stick here. We're going to change that to blaze powder. And everything else we're probably going to keep the same. Let's go and have a look at Miso's recipe generator. And if we do, what were we using? Bolt. Here we go. Oh, I bet it's not going to like me. Let's close out and open it again. Let's look at the preset for bolt. Not the armor trim smithing template. That is the recipe to make the little armor trim item that you use. We want bolt armor trim smithing template, and then I think it's called smithing template smithing. Okay, and now that looks pretty identical. If we look over here, we've got type. Okay, well, let's see what happens if we change the template item. Let's change that to blaze powder, because that's what we're going to be using. Okay, that seems to be pretty much what we would like. And they seem to agree. Cool. Okay, so let's copy that. And let's take it back to VS Code and let's paste it into our recipe. Oh, well, VS Code does not seem to like that at all. Now, I spent about 5 minutes going, why doesn't it like it? It turns out it's just VS Code. My VS Code is probably not updated to the right version or something. Minecraft understands this perfectly. So if we save that, and I think we've probably got enough that we could probably do a bit of testing. So let's go back to Minecraft. Let's go a bit bigger. And we are doing something experimental, so we do have to actually close the world and open a new one. Yeah. Yes, it should say I'm pretending to know what I'm doing. Okay, let's go over here. Let's get, what should we do first? Let's do a chest plate because it's nice and big. And we will do it with blaze powder went in. And let's get a nice bright colour. Now it's using my old resource pack. That's a bit naughty. I've still got my old resource pack enabled. Let me turn off my resource pack. Okay, let's do that again. Blaze powder, chest plate. Cool. So we've upgraded it. it is using blaze powder and it's adding the infernal trim. Okay, and I'm going to do some leggings as well, because you have to look at those beautiful leggings. That's my nice little pink onesie. I am ready for bed. Okay, is it really that big when I wear it? I'm going to have to... Is it really? Leggings go all... Leggings are like dungarees. Why don't they rename them? I never knew that. Okay, there you have it. Let's put that on as well. Right, so we have trimmed leggings and, sorry, it just looks so silly, trimmed chest plate again, and I have become Mr. Roblox. So, a data pack set up. Now we need to do the resource pack so it knows what to display. Okay, let's take these off. Let's just keep, let's put them both on. Why not? Okay, let's shrink down. I'm going to reapply my resource pack. So it's already there and running. Let's go and have a look at my resource pack. Let's shrink down some of this stuff so we can get... Here we go. So, resource pack. If I did open pack folder, there we are. That's the same directory as this one. This one here, there we go. Custom trim pattern. So I've got my pack ping, which is our 128 by 128 pixel ping file. That's my face. And I've got the pack.mcmeta. Let's have a look at that. It's the same as we've normally been doing. Remember to use a resource pack format, not data pack format. Right. Assets. Okay. So could be helpful to go and have a look at the tutorial again and see what we want. Here we go. So translation. So if you're doing the translation, this is part of the resource pack. I'm not doing that. But you can see, I might as well show you just quickly. Translate. It is looking for trim pattern example.stripes, and it will go to the language file and find trim pattern example.stripes, and it will swap it out for stripes armor trim. Mate, we might do a tutorial on one of them one day. Atlas. And now for the complicated bit. Oh, that's not very nice. Now, last time we had problems with this, so I think I'm going to use the default vanilla jar file and have a look. But we can see we need to add to the armor trims atlas. We did this when we were adding our own color pattern, or material rather. We added this bit here. But we're not doing that bit this time. We're doing a pattern, so we need this bit here. Now, to be safe, I'm going to get the default file. But let's create it. So wait, assets, Minecraft, atlases, armor trims.json. Let's create that file. Minecraft, atlases, and I've already forgotten what it's called. Armor trims. Okay. New text document. Look at that from memory. Armor trims.json. Uh-oh. We have a mistake. I left text on the end. We do not want text on the end. No. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Now let's go back over to the jar file and let's go all the way up to the root. Here we go. And we're now doing stuff in the resource pack. So we're going to move from data folder to assets folder. And we were looking Minecraft, atlases, armor trims. Okay, let's open that one. Right. We need to add ours to this. Now we're not adding a material. So we're not going to change this bit. We are adding one of these bits here. So we've got humanoid bolt, humanoid leggings bolt. What did we call ours? Well, we've called ours infernal, didn't we? Let's trim pattern. We've called it infernal. So let's stick to the same name. So let's copy this armor trims file. Let's copy that. Copy. And let's close that, and let's open up our armor trim file and paste that in. And now let's just go down here and find bolt, and we'll copy that. Now, take into account there is no comma there. That's why I copied that line, the line above it, and I copied that comma. So when I do this and paste it in, we've got comma, comma. Only the last one doesn't have a comma. Comma, 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 chameleon. Right. It's not called bolt. It's called infernal. I can't even spell my own name. Can I just double click? Oh, I can. Look at that. That's nice. Double click. Okay. And come to think of it, our our trim is not going to be in the Minecraft namespace. It's going to be in our namespace. So let's have a look at what we called our namespace. Extra trim pattern resource. I'm going to copy that. Copy. And just before trims, I'm going to paste that and then paste colon. And I'm going to do the same here as well. Okay. And I'm going to save that. Okay. Well, we've done something. Now, I think what we'll do now is let's open up the log and clear all logs. Let's do a texture pack reload. I should call it resource pack really, resource pack reload. So it's there. Let's do a reload. F3T. And let's see if we get anything. I saw some yellow fly up there, or some orangey gold. Unable to find texture, extra trim, pattern resource, textures, trims, entity, humanoid, infernal.png. Okay, so that's what it's looking for based on this. Okay, now there's a very good reason. It's because we haven't added that file yet. So if we go and have a look, let's move that down so we can still see it. Extra trim pattern resource, that's our namespace, yeah, extra trim pattern resource. Trim, textures, yes, we have that folder. Trims, we have that folder. Entity, we have that folder. Humanoid and humanoid leggings, we've got no file in there. Okay, so that's clearly why it can't find it. We don't have those files. Now, to be safe, I'm just going to copy some files from the vanilla game again. So, let's go back up and make sure we are in the assets folder, the Minecraft folder, and then what do we want? Textures, and then it's trims, and then it's entity, and then it's, okay. Well, I'm in the humanoid leggings folder in my resource pack, so let's go in there. Perfect. So let's just grab one of these. Let's grab Bolt and just chuck it in there. Okay. Now, if you download the packs, you can use these ping here as examples. You don't actually have to open up the vanilla jar to get them. So we've got one. Now, I imagine if we did a reload now, it'll say humanoid leggings is there. But why not check? Because it's nice to know. F3T. Uh-oh, why didn't it say it this time? Well, because we're silly and we didn't rename it. Ours is called Infernal. Okay. Now let's do another reload. Or attempt to do a reload. Aha! We only have one warning now, because our entity leggings is there, but the humanoid one isn't. So let's go into humanoid. And let's do the same in the jar file, humanoid, and let's just chuck Bolt in there. This time, we've already seen if we make a pointless error, let's not do that again. So let's rename it, infernal.png. Let's go back. In fact, you can see my leggings already have a texture. Now, it is the Bolt texture. We'll change that soon. Let's clear all logs. Let's do a reload. Okay, great. That's perfect. So what we've done so far is we've made an alternate way of getting Bolt. Now, instead of having to find the Bolt armor trim, you could just use blaze powder. Okay, well, that's a start. Now, what we have to do is play around with these texture files. So let's shrink down what we don't need. We don't need this. We don't need Sublime Text anymore. And we won't need the jar file. Okay, now you can see down here, I've got a couple of templates. They're going to help us. So I'm going to open up those templates in, I think I'll use GIMP. So let's do, why can I never find open with? Can we just do one at a time? There we go, open with GUI. Okay, so that's one. Let's make it a bit bigger. Cool. Let's open up the other one. Now they are different. Oh dear me. There we go. Open up. Right. They are different. This is why you had two. Let me show. This is why we have humanoid and humanoid leggings. This one is the leggings, and this one is everything else. It's pretty confusing to look at it. It's like, well, what on earth does it mean? But I'll tell you what, it's a bit less confusing than just looking at the files that we downloaded. So let's open up those. Let's open up our infernal.png. We'll open that one as well. And we'll make it big. Look at that. If you just saw that, you're not going to have any idea what's going on. And let's open up the leggings one as well. Okay, right, now we've got 4 files. Now, if we switch between leggings and leggings, you're kind of getting an idea of what's going on there. This is a template. So these are my legs. This is the top of my leg, the bottom of my leg, and this is the upper part. Can we shrink that down? It already was shrunk down. Can we make it so we can possibly see the and me? There we go. Okay. So let's take off our armour, as our chest plate as well, because that is actually getting in the way. Now on this one, we haven't got anything. Or actually, look, so you can see the leggings just go up there. If you can look where I'm pointing at my character, they go up. They're like an old man who's got his trousers pulled right up to his nipples. Okay, let's have a look at the legging file for Bolt. So it's this. Okay, what I'm going to do is select all. I'm going to copy it. And we're going to go to the leggings template. I'm going to paste. Now that gives us a much better idea of what's going on. So we can see this long stripe coming down here. That is my inside leg. Now to see that, I'd probably have to run. And then, but we can't see it very well. It's very dark. But let's look at the outside leg, because that's easier to see. Now you can see that the outside leg, let me clear chat. You can see that the outside leg has got a little dot and a long line. So that's this leg here. Little dot and long line. Front has line and a little dot. And back should be just a line, and this is inside leg. And this bit is the same for the upper portion there. Okay. So that's what we're going to be playing around with. Let's do the same for the chest plate, because I'm going to be editing the chest plate. So let me put my chest plate back on. There we go. And let's get template. Let's make it a bit bigger. Okay. I'll tell you what we could do actually. Let's go. You can search. Here we go. So I searched Minecraft armor ping template. And it's given me this rather handy thing here. So this obviously corresponds to my head. Top, bottom, right, left, front, back. Hat. Well, I don't have a hat, so I'm right leg, right front, left back, body, arm. Now I want to affect the body, so I'm looking for this front bit here. So if I look at mine, the big red one seems to be front. Now we can probably prove that. Well, let's copy this. Select all. Well, if we're going to copy it, we should select all and then actually press copy, shouldn't we? That would help. Copy that. And let's paste it over here. Paste. Aha! Right, let's shrink that down. Now we can get we can definitely see what the front is. Look at my big square I've got on the front. That's clearly matching this red panel here. So these bits here, these look like the arms. Yeah. Okay, we can match that all up. And if we look at the back, we should just have sort of a little U and a smiley face. Let's change the view to my back. Yeah. Okay, that makes it much easier to understand what's going on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change this front bit. So can we identify that just in our template? It's got to be this bit here. Here we go. And they are 8 pixels across. So can you see? Well, yeah, you could probably see where I am. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I just cut out those 8 pixels like that. Let's delete that and I'll update the file. Now let's go back to Minecraft and let's do a texture pack reload, F3T. Aha, okay, we lost the front. Nice. Okay. Now, the darker you want the colour to be, the darker grey you use, the lighter the colour to be, the lighter grey you use. Now, I'm just going to keep it simple and do it all one colour. I'm going to grab a sucky tool. There we go. I'll grab that white there. Grey. Let's grab a pen. And let's just, I don't know, let's do no, let's do a smiley face. Let's rub that out. Let's do a smiley face. Why not? Get my pen tool. Let's have boink, 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 boink. Like that. Let's add a bit of darkness as well. Let's pick a darker colour and put that in there and in there. Hey, there we go. I'm going to save that. File, overwrite, the one in my texture pack. Well, let's go back. Let's reload the textures. F3T. Yay, okay. My arm does get in the way a little bit as I run around, but I got a little smiley froggy face on the front. Okay, there we go. We have successfully done it. You can now add your own armour trims, and if you watch the armour trim materials tutorial, you can add your own trim colours as well. I think the hardest thing is just sort of getting used to what is where, and I do find it very handy to use this template. I'll put these templates into the resource pack. They won't be used by the resource pack, but you'll have access to them then. Yeah, so you can get your pattern, one of the existing patterns, and you can just sort of copy it over the top, and it really makes it easy to see what is where. So I think these orange ones for the arms, or certainly for the leg, I don't think you're going to use them because you're hardly going to see them. Maybe it's the bottom of the foot. So these bits here must be the feet. And if we look at, so that's these bits here are the feet. And then if we look at the leggings, these must be the legs. But I don't know why there's two files. If you know, let me know. Anyway, it's enough waffling. I've waffled at the end for ages. We finished. We've got a nice smiley face on the front of our armour. You can take our time. Obviously, it's going to take a while to make a proper nice looking one. But that is up to you. You know how to do it. See you soon. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.